So today, I had a couple thoughts. I found some good inspiration from Muhammad Ali and just a couple of quotes that I liked. And so I just kind of wanted to read a few of them and then also just kind of tell you what some of my thoughts are on it. The first one, it just says, a man who views the world the same at 50 as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life. And so I just think a life fully lived is a life that has learned lessons from the past and used them to create a better present and a better future. And so every day you should be learning and making your life better. And so if you're still complaining about things from forever ago, 10, 5, 2 years ago, it's time to change something. And I think the thing that you need to change is you. You should be constantly growing and transforming yourself and changing who you are, because we all have different life experiences. And we always need to be thinking to ourselves, are we better than we were 10 years ago? Are we better than we were last year? Have we grown? What areas can I improve on? Okay, those are some of the things that I kind of thought about when looking at that quote. The next quote is, he who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. And this one kind of hits hard for me because I just feel like sometimes some people might look at some of my actions as risky as far as like career goes. And I just think everything worthwhile in life will require a little bit of risk. Everything in life that has a possibility of a great reward carries with it some kind of risk, I think. The reward is not guaranteed. A lot of the times there's failure. That's a possibility. And so there inherently is risk. Okay. Now the real question is the reward that we're kind of going for worth that risk? Whatever you really want, is it worth that risk? So for example, like me starting a business is a risk. But I know that the reward of putting in the effort and building something from the ground up will be worth it. So I think the answer is yes. And so I went for it. And so if you ask someone and they might say no, the point is that they weren't really wanting it, in my opinion. It didn't really matter to them. So I think just don't live in regret just because you're scared of failing. Because the only real failure is not attempting anything in life, right? And then I think this is the second to last quote. So there's two more, actually. Yeah. Okay. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. I like that one a lot because I love serving people. It's like one of my love languages, is just showing people that I love them by serving. And I think it's just giving is its own reward. And it doesn't cost anything. It's not expected, but it sure makes you feel a lot better. And it sure makes you feel fulfilled. Giving to others doesn't have to be financial, material at all. It could mean just giving your time, giving your experience, giving your tips, giving your wisdom, your understanding, and your love. Okay. You got to think to yourself, how can you make this world a better place today? How can you make someone's day better? Just got to look around you for places to serve, even if it's with your spouse or even if it's with your kid or your parents. I think a lot of times that's overlooked as well. So I guess one thing I'd like you to see is, hey, if you haven't, maybe start looking for opportunities to serve for those around you. We got two more here. This one says it's the repetition of affirmations that leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. So this one's interesting for me because one of my favorite books that I've ever read is called Take the Stairs. And it talks about that there's something called Mr. M, which means Mr. Mediocrity. And in our mind, every time we want to do something, there's always a little Mr. Mediocrity. It's kind of like the devil on your shoulder saying, you can't do that. like you won't do well. You're gonna fail. Like, why even try? And so, like, what he says is that affirmations is something that really defeats Mr. Mediocrity. So step one is just affirm and repeat until you believe. So you just got to say, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, until you believe it. Step two is repeat step one until it is ingrained in your very being. So honestly, like, it sounds stupid, it sounds foolish, but sometimes just looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I can do hard things, I can do this, I can build a business, I can help people, I can do, whatever you want to do, you just say it until you bring it into fruition. Okay, and then you just say it, and then you just have to speak and feel what you want. You have to affirm and feel who you want to be before you actually are that person. And a lot of times people say, fake it till you make it, and it's kind of like that. Like, you bring it into fruition, like how you want to be. You must believe you deserve it and work towards it until you see it, and affirm it until you become it. So it's like, believe, work for it, and then become it. The greatest gift that you can give yourself is self-belief, which is crazy because I feel like a lot of people just don't believe in themselves, when in reality I feel like God made us all to be great. And whether we struggle with things, it doesn't mean we're failures. It means we're progressing, we're trying, we're working towards something. Okay? Constantly trying, getting up after falling, continuing to beat the drum until you find the winning beat. Okay, I think that's kind of a cool saying. Constantly trying, getting up after falling, continuing to beat the drum until you find the winning beat. That's crazy cool. Okay, so this is the last quote and the last subject that I'm going to talk about from Muhammad Ali, and it just says, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. That's pretty neat. So I just think champions, kind of like Muhammad Ali, or whatever industry or sport or field, are just willing to suffer the now and the convenient and the pleasurable to live the rest of their life as a champion. And in the same way, those who succeed in any area of their life, financially, in their marriage, that they're willing to give up maybe what's easiest, and instant gratification, maybe even a little bit of suffering, knowing that the reward is coming in the future. Most people seek comfort in the moment, even if it leads to pain later. Very few people are willing to go through the pain in the moment for the possibility of a brighter future. It's kind of like that concept where if you put a marshmallow in front of a little kid and say, hey, if you wait 5 minutes, I'll give you 2 marshmallows. Almost all of them just ate it right away. And that's just kind of how we are as adults and as we grow older too. And if we can overcome that, I feel like we become a lot better people. We become less carnal. One person might take the first crappy job that comes in the order to pay the bills tomorrow, knowing full well they will be stuck there forever. Another person might suffer through financially while they work on developing their skills and getting a better job, or starting their own business that will lead to less pain in the future. I totally believe that, because me doing sales is kind of risky sometimes, but I've learned a lot of cool skill sets that is very transferable, and you can kind of take it in all different directions. And so I just think it's a choice, it's a mindset. Your best life won't be received by just choosing the easy option. It never will be. And every time I always try to choose the easy option, and it always ends up biting me in the rump later. So that's all I kind of wanted to share with you guys today. So my question is, which quote was your favorite? And just let me know, and by subscribing or on my Facebook group or on YouTube and things like that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And just let me know which part really resonated with you. But other than that, I'll check you guys for the next one, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. All right, thanks. Bye.